Welcome back! It's time to fit the roof while the sun is shining. In this Blake Builds 3-part special, we unload roof panels, we fit roof panels, and we cover the roof panels in solar PV. Enjoy! Welcome to another episode of the first in a 3-part series we're going to do on cladding our roof. And with all things that we tend to do, we're going to do it ourselves. Never really done it before. That's quite a lie. The building behind us I did maybe 15 years ago. So we have got some cladding experience. We've got the boys, we're in prep stage at the moment. We're grinding off brackets and attaching new cleats in order to finish the purlins. Nobody should buy a second-hand building, should buy a new one and then have the cleats all in the right positions. So Kingspan have very specific instructions around how you can pick their packs up. There's something called a pack boy. I don't know why they're all boys, but they're all boys. You've got pack boy, clad boy, rotor boy. If they're over 6 meters, you can't just pick them up with a forklift in one place. You actually have to pick them up in 2 places. So you will see, I'm sure, a bit of me driving the telehandler and probably Evan, or I'm gonna say, I reckon Ryan, sweating while we try not to damage these panels as we unload them.
Cladding's here, look. First of many. These are the gable ends, so the shorter ends, if you like, of the building.
Okay.
These bits here.
Nice.
And down there, they are an anthracite colour, like a nice dark grey colour.
Lovely.
But long term, we're going to be fitting some wooden panelling to them. So these are called carrier panels.
Okay.
And they're a bit different to the normal Kingspan panels in that you can fix stuff directly to them. You know, additional external cladding to tart it up a bit. But in the meantime, while we decide exactly how we want to finish it and gather some additional funds up and stuff like that, it's going to be a nice dark grey colour, and then the rest of the building is going to be a lovely deep navy blue. So Ollie's just gearing up, ready to offload them with a telehandler. You have to cut them all to size. You have to give them the schedule of how you want them cut in, so they all get cut to size over at the Kingspan factory, and then they get shipped out. And in an ideal world, you just stick them on.
Easy peasy.
It's easy as that. It's going to be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Certainly not difficult, lemon difficult.
We paid for this lot separately. How much was this little lot?
Oh,
Can you remember?
let's do some money. Bit of money. 30 grand. Something like that.
That's all right then, isn't it?
What's 30 grand between friends?
Yeah. Well, if you think how long it's going to be up and you did it per week, it's probably not a lot, is it?
It's not a lot. It's not a lot.
Fractions of a pence for its lifespan.
It's about a Peterbilt's worth, I think.
Oh, you. Why would you do that?
Good one. There it is.
You can almost see it, can't you?
You can, yeah. It's about the same length.
Oh, I ought to neaten that up with a forklift, didn't I?
What is it, first day? First day at forklifts?
Oh, I've got to neaten it up. I don't want judging.
Hello. Everything's offloaded, ready to go. We've got one more delivery to come, one more delivery of roof panels, and then it's crane time. So the most expensive bit that Ollie's not stressed or scared about at all. That's spending a load of money.
That's all right. That's all we do, isn't it?
It is all we do, yeah. And to make sure that we make the most of the money that we're spending, I have produced a very exciting pack. I know you love a highlighted details sheet.
You are the details man.
So here we have our KS1000 RW panel data sheet. That's what we're going to be installing on the roof. RW stands for roof and wall, which I just found out recently. And I guess KS is Kingspan. Don't know what QuadCore is. Not bothered to find out. Don't matter. Don't worry about it. A few things to note. If you were to go and clad a building like this yourself and prep it all, there's loads of things to consider. So we're using like a sandwich panel, if you like. It's a
composite.
Yeah, composite panel, pre-made, pre-fabbed, with an outside layer of metal, inside layer of metal, and then in between that you've got your insulation. We've got 40mm insulation, haven't we?
Why have we got 40mm insulation?
We've got 40mm insulation because that is basically the bare minimum requirement to meet Part L regulations, which is it's a building regulation that talks about the conservation of energy and power. So if you plan on conditioning a space, like we do, this warehouse.
Conditioning means heating it.
Yeah, we're heating it or cooling it. If you're putting energy in to do something to change the temperature in there, you need to make sure that energy is not going to be wasted and it's actually going to be heating that space instead of just flying out through the door or out through the windows or the skylights or even the roof. So,
but there is even a minimal requirement, even if you are not going to heat or put any energy into a building, there is still a requirement to insulate it from the elements.
Yeah, so you've got to make sure that it meets these building regulations, and the way you do that is you select a product which is suitable. So our engineers, our mechanical and electrical engineers, they've helped us work out what we need, and there's a little chart here. So it says weight and thermal performance. So the core thickness of 40mm, which is the smallest, thinnest one they do. That's the overall thickness, which includes these little crowns here. And down here is the U value. Now the U value is the heat transfer or heat loss value. So the lower the better, basically. So we needed to meet a 0.7 U value on this, and using this panel and installing it correctly and putting all the right seals in the right place and stuff will get us a 0.47 U value. And that's measured in watts per metre squared Kelvin. So how much temperature differential is there going to be per metre squared? How much is going to be lost or saved? So lower the better, and we've got a nice low value, which is good. And then it just shows you the weight down there of how heavy it is.
Per square metre.
Yeah, kilogram per square metre, and that's important because we've got this sucker coming.
Yeah, like a good sucker.
A great big sucker, big clad boy, which you've used one before, haven't you?
Yeah.
Which basically just lifts the panel up and
a crane.
On the roof.
Nice, cheap, readily available, simple crane.
Yeah, you'll have one lying around at home. You'll know what we're talking
Everyone's
about.
got a crane and an operator and a signal.
Yeah, slinger signaller.
Signaller. Because they're all real cheap and available, so that's not a problem.
Yeah, and we've only got 2 days to do it. So we'll do really short days with loads of long breaks in between, won't we? And just take it really steady and easy.
Yeah, it'll be easy when it's fine. You will see as we do it, there's loads of tapes and sealants, and there is a comprehensive makeup of it. It's not just a case of sticking it on the roof and screwing it down, and screw positions and different types of screws in different positions. So
we've got loads of jigs and stuff, haven't we, to make sure we get the screws in the right place. And
yeah, I mean, even just offloading the lorry is not straightforward. So.
Talking of processes, we've got this installation guide which you can get on the Kingspan website. They've got a massive download centre and you can get all this information. So I've printed off all these packs for everyone to have, and it just goes through the process of exactly how everything sticks together. We've uploaded it onto our phones and stuff as well. However, on their website they've got this 3D viewer thing, which is an interactive version of this, and you can explode all of the parts out and show the sequence of how everything goes on. It's a really powerful bit of kit.
Hopefully when we do the roof we'll be able to overlay that at different stages so you can actually see the physicality of us actually putting this bit of 9mm by 5mm butyl tape on and all that jazz.
Yeah, and all the sealants and all the bits and bobs.
Yeah.
You can click on this website, you can click on all the individual parts, even all the individual screws and stuff, and it will tell you exactly what screws you need and what torque settings
So
you need
there's
to
no
be at.
excuse for not doing it right.
No. You make a rub for your own back when you say things like that, though.
Well, I don't know.
And then finally, I did this drawing when we were ordering all of the panels, particularly for the roof. And another thing to consider for Part L of the building regulations is the amount of natural light that you've got coming in. So again, about that conservation of fuel and power. If you think the power that you're going to use to light up that building, you could use significantly less, couldn't you?
Well, and there's a trade-off because the U values of the actual roof lights is far less than so they're far less efficient and less insulated than the actual panel themselves, isn't there? So there's a trade-off between having natural light in a building and actually having. So we've got, is it about 10%, isn't it?
It's 10% of the roof, yeah. And on that U value, on the efficiency side of things, they do make an allowance for skylights. So on here, the roof has to have a U value of a minimum of 0.7. The skylights, they can actually be 1.6. So they do make an allowance for that, but there is a trade-off to be done.
So, and that's why the panel is actually, if we had had more roof lights, we could have had a thicker panel to counteract that, to get to the overall U value that we needed. And the other thing to, be aware of is, unfortunately, we've got an imperial-sized building, haven't we, basically?
Yeah.
So, and everything's done in mil. Done in metric, so the roof lights don't fit nicely across.
No, so
with the spacing in between the cross members, so we had to. There's some slightly strange spacing, basically, because you just can't make them work. Ideally, you'd have 2 roof lights in each bay, all the way along, or 3 roof lights, or some bays with 3 in, and some with 2 in, and they would all be in the centralised position, wouldn't they? But it just wasn't work like that. So we've done a best of.
Yeah, as close as we can to try and spread them out evenly, and try to think about where we might want the natural light. So these sort of thicker, darker lines indicate where a steel section might be. And
it's good to note there's no roof lights on this face because that is sort of south facing-ish, and that's where our solar PV is going. We've got a small section of solar PV at one end. It's going to be installed at the moment. But the idea is that it will grow if we want to. We can go all the way along with solar PV. Yeah, and again, there's a minimum requirement for all new builds. You have to have some sort of element of renewable energy, and the bare minimum requirement was this much PV that we're going to put on the roof. And we're going to do some battery storage, bearing in mind that we have a zero export tariff here, so we cannot export any of our solar energy to the grid, because there's not the capacity to export in the grid, is there? No. So if we had chosen not to do any battery storage, that would be a complete waste of time doing solar, because we wouldn't be necessarily using the energy, but you couldn't necessarily export it to the grid, so it'd be a waste of time. So yeah, it's another fine example of how regulation and bureaucracy is falls short in certain circumstances. I've booked the PV guys in basically for pretty much the day after we're due to finish the cladding. So no pressure. Yeah, no pressure. Not only are we up against it with that, we've also got to
you know, with the crane, we've also got to make sure that we get done because the PV guys are booked in and then they can't come back for another month if we don't get it done. So yeah,
But it's a good idea because with the edge protection up and the hacky stairs and the loading out platform, you can get there and do it safely. And there would be an added cost if they had to come back and put it on, wouldn't it? So.
Yeah, for every week, it's another, you know, load of money that doesn't need to be spent. So again, it's about trying to get things in sequence, trying to do it right, and
scheduled. And it's going to be another string to our bow.
Yeah. So if you want any cladding doing in a possibly ad hoc roundabout way, come to PIR Developments and we'll do it. Now, the plan is to use this as, like, we keep banging on about building 2, but I'm confident that this is going to go really well and really smoothly. There's not that much to it. It does look really scary when you look at all the money involved in it and stuff, but I'm confident in our processes that we'll do a good job, and then when we get on to building 2, it's going to go even smoother. So that's the plan anyway.
We've both been involved in more complicated builds in this, haven't we?
Just first time, isn't it?
It's just like,
well, not first time for you, but first time for me.
Well, it's not that. It's just trying to get it all together and get it right, isn't it? It's the pursuit of perfection which is a first, I think, more than anything.
Yeah,
Because we really are in a pursuit of perfection. So
yeah, shoot for the moon.
Settle for
aim on the roof.
Yeah,
that's the idea. That's the walk of a man who's about to inspect some very expensive cladding
that you ordered.
Oh, what's all this that I ordered?
You ordered?
We ordered together.
We did, yeah.
Big long roof panel, 11.6 metres long. And we got some wall panels, another couple of roof panels that go either side of the roof lights. So we're just going to put them out on the apron. Well, we're going to try and put them in a place where we don't have to move them again until the crane turns up. The walls we're going to stick right over there on the service yard, next to where we put the gable end ones. But because they can kind of be moved around easy enough, they're only little. But these 11.5 metre ones, we're going to lay them out on the concrete here because the crane's going to sit about there, and that will just be able to pick them up and plonk them up on the roof to us when we get up there. It doesn't come on a pallet, look. So it's literally just cardboard under there on some bits of polystyrene. So quite easy to mark with the forks if you're not careful and you're not as good a driver as this man is.
Just pick it up, pull it out, and then I talk to him. I get him to drive forward. Dum 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 dum. Yeah. Right then, we'll get this gentleman on his way, shall we? For his long weekend that he's told me about twice. Yeah, do you want to be in this or the telehandler? I'll put you in this one. I think this one's easier to drive than the telehandler. Not that I'm saying you that one up, but just draw back a little bit so we're not rubbing the other ones. right?
Yeah. Try not to scratch it. Tilt off.
That is really, really nice. It is really, really scary though, isn't it? Because it looks ever so markable. What a lovely finish.
Wow.
Jet blue, isn't it, really?
That's beautiful.
OTB
What a
blue. Yeah, really nice. So this is all of the, well, it's all of the wall panels and it's a portion of the roof panels as well. So the really, really long one over there, the 11.6 metre one, that's for
lorry loads of that.
yeah, there's quite a lot of that left to come. And that goes the full length of the roof, either side. And they're marked up because we're going to lay them this way. And we're going to do both sides at the same time, aren't we?
Yeah.
So if we start from down there, we're going to, yeah. So they're like marked up left hand and right hand, and the ones this side will be left hand because it's laying from the left, and the ones on the other side will mark right hand is laying from the right. So the crane will pick one up, plonk it there, we'll fix it up. Pick one up, send it to the other side, and we'll fix it there, and we'll slowly work our way all the way down. And then when we get to a roof light, you'll get the shorter packs. These shorter packs here, they'll go at the top. One of them then will go at the top, and then you get a roof light, and then you get another shorter panel at the bottom. So those strips will be in like 3 sections. And then you just clad the whole roof, don't you? Easy peasy.
No problem.
Easy as that.
When we do building 2, let's have them all facing up.
Yeah.
They're interlocked, they are. And they've got plastic on them. Protection.
Yeah.
Which is alright, I suppose, but we'll have to peel the plastic off.
That'll either be satisfying or annoying.
It was pretty annoying on the flashing. Hopefully this will come off. Come off a bit. No, sounds like a how's that job going, John? What a colour that is, eh?
It's beautiful, and we've got some colour match fixings to go with it.
It's either a stroke of genius or a massive, massive mistake.
Why do you think it's a mistake?
Can you imagine? Like, oh, we need another panel. Oh, it's a special colour. Oh, we can't have one. Or, oh, we've damaged one. Or, oh, when we want to do the extension, we'll put the thing on. Oh, we don't make that colour anymore, sir.
QuadCore. I never found out what QuadCore meant for you.
Processing power, mate. I think it's got to be.
I think QuadCore is that it's. I think it's made up of 4 layers, and it must be. Got to be.
Must be.
Sandwich. I'd imagine it's the top cover sheet, the foam, and then something else, and then that, innit?
We could display it on screen now.
We could.
Nah.
That was good, Ed. Thank you for that.
So
What was that?
Enthusiasm.
Oh, you've done
I was
a
being
window. Do the window, and you can make it pop up.
If you both do it at the same time.
You make it freeze frame. And then you go dun 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 dun, and you can superimpose it there. How's that?
You know.
QuadCore.
You know. Cue the elevator music.
I think it'd be even funnier if you didn't do that at all and just left that whole bit in. not even started the cladding, and all the pre-start stuff is, well, devil's in the detail, and poor planning precedes poor performance, doesn't it? So we are reaping the benefits of my poor planning. And we are now performing poorly as a result. Basically, when you order these big long roof panels, there's a little box that you can tick that says crown up stacking, and you should probably have ticked that, because when the big sucker comes to pick the panels up, this big clad boy vacuum unit, that wants to suck onto the top, the crown up, if you like, the trapezoidal bit of the roof panel. It wants to suck up onto that and lift it up, so it can just lift it straight onto the top of the roof. And we didn't check that, so that the panels have now come stacked like this, basically. And the reason that they do it is because it's easier to transport them, or rather you can transport more of them in this orientation where they're sort of interlocked together, because it's a bit more space efficient, whereas if you stack them like that you can't bring as many, so that's why they do it. But it means trying to flip an 11.5 metre long, 120 kilo flexible panel over to the right side, which is proven to be difficult. We did it the other day, we did a trial run, and we used these Grabos, and we made a little frame like this to lift them up with. In fact, we didn't even have that frame the other day, which is something that the boys have fabbed up, but it worked an absolute treat. They sucked onto them. Those Grabos can lift like 120 kilos each, so they just sucked onto there. We lifted them up with a digger, tilted it back a bit, and then me and Ryan undid the Grabos and then laid them down. It was fine, but obviously these chaps don't look particularly happy because it's not working now, so I've come out to have a look and see if I can come up with an idea, but I don't think I can. So that's what's going on. Just another obstacle to overcome. The joys. We will click crown up stacking next time.
Just feel like we're going to damage loads.
Yeah, we've already damaged some down here, haven't we? So this edge here is the bit that overlaps the next panel. And is that where the Grabo's been and the strap's been on it? Is it where it's been dropped?
I don't know what that's from. It's not cherry picker tyre, is it?
Yeah, cherry picker tyre. That's what that is. Great shout, Ben. So when the chaps have done the netting, well, that's a pig, isn't it? Anyway, one issue at a time. Whereabouts are you putting the Grabos? Are you putting them in the centre?
Yeah, 4 metres in.
Yeah, but are you putting them in the centre of the panel that way? Or are you putting them to one side?
No, to one side to flip it,
Yeah.
but in the centre, if they're the right way up, to lift it straight up.
4.5 metres in.
4 metres, because it's better.
Yeah.
Because it's less, takes more weight from the edges.
Yeah.
Because they're 12 metres long or whatever. We need to flip this one over. Can you not just flip them by hand?
No, because
Bend a lip, won't it?
Because you bend that lip, yeah.
yeah, that's the problemo.
So on the Grabo, look, there's this foam liner which goes around the edge.
Yeah.
So that forms a seal. It's like a rubber foam, EPGM foam. And that's hard. The red's harder, a lot harder. So what it does is when it goes on, it sucks all the air out of here through there. And when it goes on, that black rubber forms a seal.
Oh yeah.
And if it can get over small bumps, because when you press it down, you see how it moulds around.
Yeah. Mhm.
What's it doing?
Yeah.
And essentially, it will all pull it down to that red, harder stuff.
Got you.
And that's like the stop seal. And because it's constantly pulling the air out, it's constantly forming a vacuum.
Right.
So even if it's not like 100% vacuum, it'll still hold.
Mhm. Okay.
But then you start to add things like the protective film,
yeah.
which might peel up.
Yeah, I see.
And you know, factors like you're only pulling from one corner.
Mm-hmm.
So you imagine it's all the weights wanting to do that rather than lifting it all square up from all 4 attachment points, like all of these 4. It's just pulling it from one.
And you couldn't do it from all 4 because of the flip anyway, is that right?
Yeah. So if you usually flip it, it's always going to be on either one side or one end or something. It's probably not quite what they're designed for. They can lift 120 kilo each.
Okay.
Probably flat.
Wow.
You know, in good conditions, flat and the right thing.
Hello, Oliver. Shall I do my famous line? How's that job going?
The Grabos are failing. It failed with them on the blue in the middle to start with.
I think
so
it's the rig you've got on the top of the Grabbo.
No, it failed before that.
Did it?
Yeah.
They've
So we
tried
put the rig
everything.
on. Put the rig on. We were lifting it from one bracket, but it was on the corner of the Grabbo and it was peeling the corner of the Grabbo off. So we put the rig on to spread the suction, to spread the weight and the spreader bar, and it lifted them flat, fine like that.
Yeah, as soon as you turn it over, because it's higher up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which, just out of interest, when you had it on here, which side did you have the strap? Because I had it in this corner on there, so that when we picked it up and it went vertical, it wouldn't like it was flat. Do you think that?
Well, we had it in that.
Oh, I'm so gutted for you, gents. So shall we pick the ones that are the right way up out of the pack now? Because we could do that quite easily, couldn't we? Like move them, the ones that are face down.
So have the face down pile here,
Yeah.
and then move all the ones face
up pile
onto
and then
here.
How do you feel about whether we then maybe have an extra Grabbo? So we have 3 or 4 Grabos just on this edge. There is another one that worked.
The other one, the battery, the switch is. I was in the process of taking a switch off the other one and going to put
Swap
it on.
it over.
Yeah.
Let's get some more
Timber.
polystyrene now, this one out of the way for a start. Yep.
That's it with this job.
In it.
If it's any consolation, I won't want to be doing it with anyone else.
I'd rather be doing it right with you.
We are doing it right.
What was it then? What made the difference?
Don't know yet until we do it.
See when we turn it over.
You might see us drop one.
Where's the orange strap?
Oh, these then have to be flipped through there.
No, these are right.
Oh, sorry, they all need.
These are right. They're wrong. Yeah, because if you imagine the Clad boy turning up, the big version of this, we've made like a bit of a Heath Robinson version, and this is like a screw fix zone. And we're going to get the proper job, and it's like a massive frame that evenly spreads it all out, and it will just pick it up like that, lift it up onto the roof, drop it down. People up on the roof will undo the sucker, drop it down, it will come down and pick the next one up, but obviously you can't do it like this. You can get a rotor buoy instead of a Clad buoy, which will spin them round. Hey?
Rotor person.
Sorry, rotor
I was just
rotor
thinking
person.
that, Ryan.
Didn't want to misgender the equipment. Doesn't fall in line with our HR policy. Anyway, I think a rotor them is more expensive than a Clad them. Hence why we're doing it with 2 broken Grabos and a small strap that we found in the back of the warehouse.
That's why there's 6 of us trying to rotate a.
Yeah. This is obviously much more cost effective and efficient. It's costing about £1,000 a day to move these. £1,000 a day and some.
Good spirit, good community spirit.
Yeah.
was in the middle of it, you know, in a bit, Glenn. It wasn't right on the edge or anything, was it? And it's nice and clean on the bottom of it. It's not got dust on on the Grabo. The only other that's come off again. That has.
Let's have a look at it.
Just as well we didn't pick it up then. Got the battery playing up or something, is it? You watch, it'll be absolutely nothing for what we've been doing. It's just a problem with the Grabo stopping.
There's a mark on there, is it?
Alright.
Yeah, I think so. There's a little crease in the, remember it in the film.
Oh, and do you think that might pull up a little bit and then get the air into it?
Maybe. Are you on that polystyrene anyway? Right. Right. Yeah. That'll push this end down.
You're going to put a bit.
Sorry, it's really difficult to do.
Your best this side, Glenn.
That can go at any minute.
Yeah.
No idea, does it? Yeah, that one failed. That's second as well.
We can't do it then, can we?
No.
Not if they, you know, if it was fine and then it's failing all of a sudden.
No.
I was happy when I thought it was just the technique, you know, or the way we had it strapped, but if it's failing even when we're doing it.
I'll have to see if we can get hold of a rotor boy then. It's the only other way we can do it, isn't it? You can have it on a telehandler, so you can put it on like a jib attachment. It just depends if they've got one in stock. I better go make a call then.
Yeah, I can't see. I don't think we can do it any other way, can we?
No. I'll go and order some touch-up paint and a rotor them.
You could scale a building with these.
That'd be quite cool,
Skyscraper.
hey, you could try that on the steel frame, couldn't you?
I don't think I trust him.
No, not after this.
The infamous tick box. Crown up stacking. Next time, yes please. But this time, no thanks.
Next time on Blake Builds. Here we are again then, so Wednesday morning here, and we are about to clad the roof. So basically we're just going to lift the panels up and put them on the roof, and me, Evan and Ben are going to screw them down. Let's go and put some roof on.